what's on the agenda tonight? Well, it's a 3-step process for really understanding how we get into such toxic fighting, how we get into it, what happens in the physical body, what happens in the emotional body or in the emotionally. And so it's a 3-step process and a tool to be able to literally, when you are 100% angry, you get down to 0 in literally 5 minutes flat. So watch that space, okay? So let me do a session that I would do to with my first session with clients, and let's sort of see what happens. So yeah, please comment, please interact with me. I will be asking you questions, and so if you want to put it in the chat, I would be most happy to have this as interactive as possible. Okay, so here goes. Now, let me ask you a question. So hopefully if you're in a couple, it'd be really, really cool if both of you could see, so that if both of you could see what's this presentation, so that you can help and support one another and so forth. Let me ask you a question. If you're in a relationship, because it's a bit of both. So if you're single, that's totally fine. If you're in a couple, obviously that's totally fine. So let me ask you a question. Did you love one another when you first met? Love at first sight or something like that. Well, oftentimes, people sort of say, yeah, of course we do. Well, you don't know each other, so how can you love? Now, one of the things that I usually say is we tend to get a body thing that happens, like hey, I've got to get back to, it's like a body thing. It's like, oh, I've got to pay attention here. That's what causes the attraction that, you could have been going out with other people, but the person that you are with, you kind of get this body thing that happens. And that kind of gives us the ability to be able to start getting on dates and all that sort of stuff. But no, we don't love one another. We just get this attraction. It takes 4 T words for love to grow, right? So let's get this down here. So 4 T's, right? So what did you do? So someone asked someone on a date, and I'll probably use David and myself. So if David was asked me on a date when we first met, we would have, gone somewhere, coffee, for movies, something like this, or a dinner. So what would we be doing in that time? We would be spending time. We'd be spending time. And in that time, what do? Well, we talk. And when we talk, we obviously share our hopes and our dreams and our goals and all that sort of stuff. Maybe not the first date, maybe the second or third or something like this. We get another element into the relationship. And that is, can you guess? Well, put it in the chat to sort of see. Can you guess what the other element that we put into the relationship? Is anybody game? No, not game. Well, we add another one. So it's basically, did you hug? Did you kiss? Did you hold on hands? So that was touch. Then we sort of went, oh, this is really going well. So let's build a life together. And that's when you become a team, which includes respect and trust. Okay? This grew, yes, Amir, thank you. Trust is one of them, but it's part of the team. So we respect one another and trust. Now, the issue is if one of these fail, they all fail. And if we're not feeding into love, what happens to it? Right? It simply dissipates. Not instantly. We don't, love someone and then the next day. No, it's over time. maybe even 1 or 2 years. Okay? Because if we're not spending time, then we're certainly not in the vicinity to talk. We're not in the vicinity to touch. So how can we become a team? Now, if our talk starts to become heated fights, then I am now really annoyed and angry. Do I want to spend time with you? Do I want to touch? Well, that's a hell no, that one. So then how can we become a team? Do you see what I mean? If one of them fail, they all fail. And that's so what we're going to talk about tonight is this talk, is that if we're having heated fights, then we're not doing all the rest. Does that make sense? Are you with me? Thumbs up, doing something? Okay. So let's do a 3-step process and then a tool to be able to calm down in 5 minutes flat. All right, so let's do number 1. So I'll take my little boards off here. Okay, and here's the one. Any outward defensive behavior is due to a threatened inner emotion. Okay? Guys, we don't go about the day in high emotion. We just don't. Okay? One person gets triggered and then we drag the partner in. Okay? So let's call the person who's triggered partner A. Right? Partner A gets triggered and we drag our partner in. Now, what are some of the emotions that come up for you guys when you are triggered, right? That's my code. This is just a T on its side. I'm triggered. What are some of the emotions? In the chat, can anybody just name me some emotions? Okay, let me do some. The biggest one, right, is anger. Okay, we get angry. The other one, it's the F word, which is frustration. Okay. Oftentimes we can feel hurt. We can feel sad, especially if we've got a good relationship. Well, we had a good relationship and we just don't know how to fix it. So it could be, sort of some of these. Okay. We can feel anxious. Okay. And then I'll add some more, which is fear, shame, right, guilt, and insecurity. Okay, they're the kind of the big emotions. Worthless, yes, we'll add that too. All right, you feel worthless. Okay, so that's right. So that's some of the emotions that come up when you are triggered, right? But let me in on a little secret or not so secret that you're doing all the time, right? These are the emotions that come up when we're triggered. But the first thing, even before the emotions come up, right, is the fact that you will always feel it in your body first. Because when we get threatened, we are now in our fight, flight, freeze. So our muscles get tight. Our jaw gets locked. So we get all tightness in and around here. For some people, they may get sick, nauseous, feel as if we're going to throw up. It could be also that we feel it in a chest, like a clamp that's on a chest, that our heart rate increases and our breathing gets short and sharp. Again, much like the anxiety. All right? That's the body thing. Now, the issue is right, is that the intensity of this body is exactly the same as if, your partner or someone at work or, your family or whatever it is didn't do something that you expected them to do. Okay? If they didn't do something, then we get threatened. That incident is exactly the same intensity as if you were running down the street and this huge dog was going to bite your leg off. Or if we got magpie seasons, they're swooping down and trying to peck you out. We're living in fear. Okay, that's what happens. There is no difference between the intensity of these emotions between that life-threatening situation and then someone not doing something in the home that triggers us. Okay, that's the body. So we are in physical pain. Now the emotions start coming up and we are in emotional pain. So number one is literally about high emotion. And how many good decisions do you make in high emotion? Okay? My guess, none. Is because if we're in high emotion, where is our logic? Guys, it's gone out the window. It doesn't exist. It's kind of left the building. And then, because literally we are in physical pain, we're in emotional pain. All right? Now, the second thing that happens, and this is actually worse than the first, because number two is here is us. All right? Here is us here. Because now we start to think. Okay? Think. Could have been, should have been, if only this, question this, why this, and then past stuff. Okay? Now the issue is that our body influences our thoughts. And here is why it's more dangerous. Because our brain cannot tell the difference between what we imagine and reality. If we've imagined something, then it's real to us. Right? Let's sort of say maybe 2 years ago, you guys, your partner and you had a fight, like a massive big fight. Every subsequent argument that you've had, we go back and relive that last one. Well, it didn't just happen 2 years ago. It's happened again right now with all the associated emotions. Now we start to trigger ourselves. Right? Do you get this? And this is killing us because it's killing our ability to experience love, joy, and happiness. And I don't know if you know someone in your world that is in their 70s, 80s, and they had a trauma in their 20s, and they keep telling you about it. Well, every time they tell you about it, they relive it. And so, that one incident, what happened in their 20s, maybe an hour, the person is not even in their lives anymore. How many thousands of hours have they relived that one incident in the last 50, 60 years? And if we're stuck in here 24/7, then how in the heck can we do all the funsies? Guys, it's just not going to happen. And this is why this fails. Because we get angry, we don't want to spend time, we don't want to touch, and we don't want to become a team because of this. Guys, we've got to fix this, and the tool is about fixing this. And this is why I don't go back to the past with couples in this space who I work with. Because the minute you tell me your story, your partner tells me their story, what have I just done? Any comments? What have I just done? I've triggered you. And then it's like, okay, guys, good job. Out you go. And now they're feeling worse because they'll probably have an argument on the way home because they've just relived a painful experience, right? This is why. Guys, does this make sense? Please give me a thumbs up or just, anything to sort of see whether it makes sense. Okay? Now, as I said, one person gets triggered and we drag our partner in. Okay? We drag our partner in with these following words. You, followed closely by always, never, or should. Okay? And when I say the you word, what does it feel like? You. Now remember, we're tight, right? Because we're either going to fight, we're going to freeze, or we're going to say, yeah, hell no. So if we're fighting, it then becomes something like this. You always just, you never do this. You should be doing this. Short, sharp sentences. Now, if I'm using the you word, what does it feel like? Tell me, what does it feel like in the chat? So for some people, it feels like they're being accused. Other people, they sort of feel blamed. Well, in essence, it's an attack, right? Someone is attacking you. And that is what this outward defensive behavior is the fact that when we get attacked, what is our natural instinct? You're right, to defend or attack back. So this behavior here is simply attack, defend, attack, defend, attack. And nothing gets done. Nothing gets done. Can you see that? Yeah? Because now here's the issue. If we're stuck in number one for long enough and often enough, right, then we may start to do some behaviors here to make us feel good, because our brain wants to go away from pain and into pleasure. Right? So what is some of the things? Let's see then. If in the chat, if you need to, if you've got some ideas, otherwise, so for some people, they may go to the gym, right? Still others, they may go to work. I get good accolades at work. For still others, they may eat or not eat. For some, they may use technology, social media, gaming, Netflix, books. For some other people, they may shop, they may clean. And then you've got your 5 vices, which is your smoking or vaping, your alcohol, your drugs, your gambling, and your pornography. Now, why is these are a bit dangerous? Because this here, these emotions don't go away. What we tend to do is, I have a metaphorical glass jar, and I think everybody's got them, because we stuff our emotions in, and we keep stuffing until all of a sudden there is nothing left, and poof, we explode messily everywhere. Oh, that was fun. So what do? Stuff. And now I'm tired, I'm exhausted, and I've got nothing left in the tank. Nothing. Right? And that's when we can do some behaviors here. But if we are stuck in number one for long enough and often enough, then these behaviors here could become a habit, which could lead into an addiction, and now we've got bigger problems. And that's where you get your gym junkies. Well, let me sort of say, because you need to exercise, you need to go to work, you need to eat or shop or clean and those, maybe not the 5 vices. But if you are doing this behavior to mask the pain of this, right? Then that's when they can get into a habit and then leads into an addiction. And that's why you get the gym junkies, the workaholics, the anorexia bulimia, the technophiles, the shopaholics, the OCD, the alcoholism, the gambling aholics, right? So this might be, perhaps a reason that we may be doing sort of stuff here is because we're stuck in this. Now, more for your information than anything else, guys, this is where infidelity starts, okay? Because I tell you, we never get into a relationship and go, who can I have an affair with today? Guys, it just doesn't happen, right? It happens because we're stuck in number one, okay? And then we may, drown our sorrows at the local pub or club or go to work or the gym or, anywhere else. And we're sort of putting our head in our hands and someone of the opposite sex comes up to us and says, what's happening, mate? You look awful. Oh, I've just had a fight with my partner. I don't know what to do. So perhaps we get sympathy. We get compassion. We get empathy. And for a long time, we're being heard. So what do? We spend time. We talk. These other things. Right? So guys, how cool is it being in number one? How cool? Yeah, not. So let's fix it, shall we? And we're going to fix it by number two. So here we go. Okay. And number two is acknowledge the behavior and then analyze the emotion. Now, partner B, your role is here. Partner A, yours is here. So at this point in time, I'm going to kind of give you a scenario that I will use to go down the rest of this. And the scenario is this, right? Your role, whoever you are, your role is to put out the bins, okay? But this particular day, you don't do it. And you're living in the house and in the morning, the next morning, the council dudes are coming to actually pick up the big bin. So it's got to go out tonight, but you forget about it. All right. So let's say David did that. So I'll use him and I. So David didn't take out the bins. Now I could come into the kitchen all happy and go lucky and sort of go like, oh, flog. The bins. David, you got to pick the bins up. I've got it. Oh, sure. Yeah, in a minute. Well, a minute can go on to, an hour or so. And then I'm sort of going back through the kitchen to get something to, drink from the fridge, and bins are still there. And it's like, David, you've got to take the bins out. The council dude's coming in tomorrow. You've got to get it out. Yeah, sure, love. In a minute. So he goes off to bed. And I'm thinking everything's honky-dory. And so I'm just doing the final checking of the rooms. And then I go back into the kitchen and there is the bins falling out all over the place. Well, adrenaline and cortisol comes in, stamp up to the bedroom, and I let him have it. You never do this. You should be doing this. You've got one job, do the friggin' bits, and you can't even do that. Do a whole lot of other stuff, and I put a nail in the coffin by, you know what, David, you're a selfish idiot. That's the scenario. Okay. So let's have a bit of a dissect. Well, David's come to see me. Right? So he's partner B, right? Because he did the thing, which is not taking out the bins, and I'm the one that's in partner A in high emotion. So he realizes that this point here, it's no longer about the bins or the trigger, right? You think of a trigger that you've had. It's no longer about the trigger. It is about emotion, right? And let me ask you a question. Do you have any control over what your partner says, does, or feels? Do they have any control over what you do, say, or feel? And the answer is no. And that is the key to this whole thing, because you have a superpower, right? And the superpower is these two little statements. And I believe they are the most powerful little statements in the world. Here goes. Do you want to know what they are? Yeah? All right. Being able to recognize our own emotion, we can control how we react or respond. That is it. Nobody can make you feel anything unless you give them permission. Nobody. All right? Yeah. Okay? This is it. So if we sort of know that, then we know that our partner, partner A is triggered, then we're able to, because we're not triggered, we're able to control how we react. Because, David here might have a huge, big excuse, right? The biggest excuse ever. And he will start telling me about his big excuse. Well, guess what? I can't hear it because I'm in physical pain, I'm in emotional pain, right? In order to process language, you need logic. Where's logic? Out the window, right? So you may as well be speaking gibberish, or he may as well be speaking gibberish to me because I can't understand what he's saying. In fact, I'll probably get louder. All we can do in this situation here is to help and support. That's all we can do. Because unfortunately for David, his emotions is his and his alone. Yours is yours alone and nobody can fix them. All right? And mine is mine alone and nobody can fix them because of this. Does this make sense, guys? Okay? So what can we do? Well, the easiest sort of thing would be, hey, you know what? I know you're hurting. How can I help you? How can I support you? What do you need me to do? Well, if you just did the friggin' bins, I'd be okay. Yeah, I get it. I understand. How can I help you? How can I support you? What do you need me to do? Okay? Past stuff. Yep, I hear you. How can I help you? How can I support you? What do you need me to do? The minute, the second that you as a partner B starts answering any accusations, now we're stuck up at number one again. Tit for tat, tit for tat, tit for tat. Right? Does this make sense? Yeah, I hope it does. And if you think about your whole life, right, it is often not the incidents that hurts us per se. It is the person who was significant to us, who has the greatest ability to hurt us simply because they are significant. And you think of all that what you've gone through. The only people that hurt is those who are important to us. But even here, you can say, if, okay, if. Hi, Stephen, how are you? I just saw you come in. Great to have us. If here. Lost my train of thought now. Basically, significance, right? So even though we sort of say here, even though you are significant, I don't need to take that on. Okay? That's what this is about. Yeah? So that's this one. Now, your role, partner B, okay, is to help partner A calm the farm down. And for pity's sake, do not say you need to calm down. Because what have I just done? The U word. And in order for a person to calm down, they need logic. Where is logic? Out the window. All right? But that's our role, is to help them so that we can get to number 3. And number 3 is problem solve. Number 3 is problem solve. Now, in our little scenario, what problem do we need to solve? Does anybody want to have it as a guess? What problem do we need to solve in my little scenario? I'll let you know. It's the bins, all right? Because let me tell you that every fight you have ever had starts with a trigger. And every trigger has a solution. What we fight about is emotion. That's what we fight about. All right? And emotions don't have solutions. Now, let's just say, all right, do you get that? Right? Yeah, do you get that? It's not the conflict. It's not the conflict. It is the bins, the trigger. The conflict is emotion. What do we have here? So let's go back to the bins. Now, let's say David did do the bins. He took it out, honky-dory, go him, right? Took even out the big bins out to the curb. I come back in and I'm saying, Flo, Dad, you didn't do the bins. I did. I took out the bins, right? It's gone, literally gone. Yeah, I know, but you didn't wash it out because it's a bit stinky and you didn't put any bin liners back in. And it's like, Flo, I get criticised for what I do, criticised for what I do. Well, you know what? I'm not going to do anything. Okay? Because every problem, we first have to define the best outcome. The best outcome. What is the definition of the best outcome for this issue that resolved? And we do that through negotiation and collaboration. What we never do is compromise. Why? Why do we and should we never compromise? Okay, anyone has it a guess? Oh, guys, work with me. All right. Let's just sort of say that he didn't take the bins out. And I took them out and I said, fuck, I'll just take it up my own self and stop all anything. So I start taking the bins out and so forth. What emotion would I be feeling? Okay. Right. Comes back to here with major resentment. Compromise always leads to resentment. Okay. What we need to do is negotiate and collaborate. Aren't you with me? Now, why? Why do we negotiate and collaborate? Well, it is because the two of you, and still people in the workplace, people, in your life and so forth that you're having a conflict, they are usually opposite to you. Okay? And as in a partnership, you need to be opposite. Because in terms of David and I, because David's weaknesses is my strengths and my weaknesses is his strengths. So if I were to graph that, if we did a psychological test, so, my weakness, strength here, weakness here, big one here, and his then would be over here, right? As an individual, each of you are friggin' amazing, awesome. But get you and your partner together, you become an unstoppable team as long as we respect one another and trust that we are going in the same direction. Does that make sense? Yeah? So let me sort of say, so what are some of the things that we're opposite? So my guess would be that one of you is an extrovert, one of you is an introvert. One of you is more positive, one of you is more negative. One of you is a visionary person, the other is more a practical. In temperature-wise, one of you is hot, one of you is cold. What are some others? One of you, like I learned today, but I did change it. I had this, but one of you is I think it was a right brain emotional versus a left brain logical. Okay, do you get the point? All right, so we're opposites, and I've actually come up with a suism, and I'm actually quite proud of this, guys. So I'm going to share with you my suism, and that's this. We fall in love with who they are. We divorce or separate for what they do or don't do. Did you get that? Right? Fix the doings. You've fixed the relationship. And how do you fix the doings? That is all your problems. Here it is. If you resolved every one of your triggers, would you ever fight again? Don't need to. They're resolved. Guys, does this make sense? All right? Does this make sense? In the chat, yes or no? Does this make sense? All right? Now, what am I trying to do now? Practically, all right? Let's get to practical aspects because I'm a practical person. David is a visionary person. I'm the practical one. So we need to resolve this. So how do we do it? Okay. Well, my suggestion is that you get a piece of paper with issues on it and you stick it on the fridge. Okay, stick it on the fridge. Then you pick 2 talk nights. Okay, 2 talk nights. 2 talk nights. Let's say Monday and Thursday. Then you take 1 issue per night and you sit down with a piece of paper each and a pen. A piece of paper and a pen. Yeah? Then you write out your best definition of what that trigger looks like resolved. Best definition. Then you do a brain dump of all the possible solutions. Then you bring the 2 pages together, and together you make a plan of action. Done. There is no he said, she said, or anything. Best outcome, possible solutions, together, plan of action. Okay? That's it, guys. That is it. That's how you resolve issues. Now, it could be It could be that, you might have, your partner might put something on the list and you think, "Oh, that's something, that's silly, that's stupid, it's something, nothing." No, 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 no. If your partner, because they are opposite to you, put something on the fridge, then it is important to them. And because you're going in the same direction, right, towards happiness, you've got to take that seriously, because there's got to be a time when he or they think that's silly, stupid, nothing, but it's important to you. You want equal, right, commitment to finding solutions. Guys, does that make sense? Okay. Now you might sort of think, oh, but these are little things. These are little things. You don't put little things on it. Nah. No. If you are annoyed, if your partner leaves socks everywhere, and they don't, they leave all the doors open in the kitchen, or they, whatever. Okay. If it is annoying, well, let me ask you a question. How long do you keep a pebble in your shoe before you take it out? How long? Seconds. The minute you put your foot down, right? That's what happens with annoyances. When they start, and if you left them in there and ignored them and shoved them down in your glass jar, now at some point in time, it's going to explode messily everywhere. Yeah? So we've got to find a solution. Okay? So let's have a look at the bin scenario to find solutions. Well, there's only two of us in the household. And let's sort of say on Thursday morning is the council. So Wednesday night, the bins have to go out. So let's have a look. So the bins go out at 7 o'clock after dinner. 7 o'clock go out, and then again, because there's only two of us in the household, then again, say on Sunday. So Wednesday and Sunday at 7 o'clock, they go out. Then the bin is washed out once a fortnight, and bin liners are put back each and every time. And the big bin, the council one, maybe every 6 months we disinfect it, hose it out, done. Best outcome. Now, who's going to do it? Well, David does it. Okay, yeah, can do that. I do it. It's like, oh, yeah, well, I don't do it all the time. Okay, then how about month about? You do odd months, David. I do even months. Oh, yeah, cool. That's pretty cool. All right, so that's 3. So we got to 3. Now, if we had kids, and my kids are growing up now, but if they're little, we get the kids at age appropriate to do chores. Because if they don't do chores in terms of laundry, in terms of vacuum cleaning and cleaning the bathrooms and cooking and even the car, changing tires and things like this for your son or daughter, then let me ask you, who in the heck is going to teach them? Our job as parents is to equip them with all the skills so that when they leave home, we are confident that they can actually, look after themselves and have an amazing life. Okay, that's just me 2 cents worth there. Then the third one, well, if funds are available, we'll get a cleaner in and they can do the bins. There is 5 solutions that you didn't have a minute ago. All right, guys, done. What do you think? Right? What do you think? Literally 2 seconds. Now it could be that we take an issue out and there is the chance to get the emotions involved. Well, you did this the other night, or you did that. No, guys, no, don't do that. Right? That's just now putting us back into number 1. It doesn't matter who's done what. You've got to find the issue. Once you find the issue and you've resolved it and you know who's doing it, or anything like that, then it's resolved. It doesn't matter who's done it or who hasn't. Doesn't matter. Okay? So, guys, what do you think? Is this cool or what? Have we got any, have we got any chat people in? Alrighty. Now, I promised a tool, did I not? I promised a tool to actually get you from here to here in 5 minutes flat. And then we still have to deal with this, and we still have to deal with this. Okay? So let me ask you the question. Okay? What is the first indication that you are triggered? Where will you feel it? You're right. In your body. You will always feel it in your body. So here's what we do. I'm triggered. Now, we don't speak at all. I'm triggered. And you literally throw your hand over your mouth, because oftentimes when we're triggered, we want to do verbal diarrhea and it all comes out. No. I'm triggered. And you go and lie down on the bed. Now, it could be a couch or it could be the floor, but, bed's much more comfy, right? Because it is a physical impossibility to be angry lying down. Can't happen. Because anger needs movement to feed itself. So when we are angry, what do? Okay, what do? We flail our hands around, we stamp all over the place, hopefully not throw things or whatever, right? We do all this emotion. The more animated you are, the angrier you will feel. When you lie down still, what happens to anger? Just simply dissipates. All right, so let it go. Don't even worry about it. It will just simply dissipate. Now, the minute you lie down, the first thing we have to do is to breathe. We have to breathe. So we breathe, right? In for 6, hold for 4, out for 6, hold for 4. Okay? Now, you are going to struggle because we're doing the whole anxiety whole thing. Okay, so we're trying to take deep breaths. That is a good thing, because if you are breathing, right, let me ask you, well, here's what we do. We breathe and we think all the time, but you cannot breathe and count and think. So in doing this, the actual act of counting means we stop thinking. We're not thinking of who done what, how, and things like that. We're not thinking of past stuff, right? What we're literally doing is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now that might take 10 breaths, 20. So if we're doing the whole, then what happens to the adrenaline and the cortisol? You're right. It disappears as well. Done, guys. Done. Literally within 5 minutes, we've stopped this thing that has been killing us for like forever. Right? But we've got to do it. But remember the first thing that you sort of have to remember is, if you do get triggered, you will always feel it in your body first. That's the first thing that you'll feel. Right? Does that make sense? Now, right, body's gone because we're now taking deep breaths. So the adrenaline and cortisol is left. And we don't want to stick things in glass jars. So we have to analyze the emotion. Now, when you analyze the emotion in any relationship, be it partnership, be it work, be it friends, whatever it is, there is three entities in kind of any relationship. There is a me, okay? This is my things. This is my emotions, my thoughts, my things like this. There, for the other person, there is a beautiful me. And then together you make a we, be it a colleague, be it a partnership, be it friends, you've still got a we, all right? So we then have to analyze the emotion, and we analyze the emotion by asking ourselves the question of why. Why am I triggered? There are only two possible solutions. Is this a me thing, which is silly, stupid thoughts of the past or experience and stuff like this? If it's a me thing, then I can deal with that and I don't need to bring partner B into it. If this is a we thing, last night we had dinner together and we're both of us sitting on phones, social media, stuff like this, which means we're not spending time. Okay, that's got to go in the fridge. We've got an issue with technology. Okay? Does that make sense? If it's a we thing, it goes on the fridge. Or if you have a lot of people around, in behind the door so nobody can see it. Right? Does that make sense? Yeah? We ask ourselves, is this a me thing, silly, stupid thoughts of the past, or is it a we thing? I've got to put it on the list. And then when you get to your talk nights, best outcome, possible solutions, plan of action. And this is the same thing, guys, that you can do in a toxic work environment. Okay, a work environment is that if you have two employees that are sort of fighting and stuff like this, then you literally stick them in your room and go, what's the issue? What's the trigger? You two find a solution, best outcome, possible solution, then together come up with a plan of action that meets within the policies and procedures of the company. Done. Guys, done. Okay? It's not hard, but we've just got to learn how to do it, and we need the tools and the strategies with which to do this. Okay? That's how you get. Now, if you are not at home, you're in the workplace, there's no bed anywhere. Easy. You go to the washroom or the bathroom or toilet, or find a wall that's not used, and you stand up against it, put your head back, get in your hero stance of your hands on your hip, and all you do is breathe. Again, the 5 breaths, 10, 20, and you just keep breathing until you get to the point of asking, or you're calm enough to ask, why am I triggered? Is this a me thing, silly, stupid thoughts of the past, or is this a we thing? We have to find a solution. Best outcome, possible solutions, plan of action. Guys, this is it, all right? This is it. This is what I do to help couples, okay? This is what I do to help couples. And usually my first session, because we've got to stop the fighting. But this is only the start. We've got to start bringing the 4 T's back, if anything. All right, we've got to start knowing, how to spend time with each other, because we haven't done it for a while. We've got to learn what topics. We've also got to deal with, like I've just saying here, the easiest way to stop your thoughts is literally to count 1, 100, 2, 100, 3, 100. Okay. If that's too easy, go up by 4s. 4, 100, 8, 100, 12, 100, 16, 100. All right? Or sing. Sing's another thing. We've just got to distract our thoughts. Right? But we've got to know what to do with these thoughts. Right? Again, this is just the first step. And so I suppose this is what I'm offering to you. Hang on a minute. is the fact that if you have valued, and you sort of feel as if, we could really, really improve our relationship, right? Then I ask you, or invite you, that if you need any help, is to DM me, direct message me or something like this, for a picture of this, and also the program outline to get more information on what this program entails. But we answer this statement: in order to have an amazing we, you must have a strong sense of me. And that's what the first 4 units is about, the me. How do we deal with this cyclical thinking? How do we get that stupid inner critical voice that tells us we're worthless, that we've got nothing, that we're not good enough, that will never amount to anything? Why do we get it? How do we get it? And how do we stop it? Okay. Then if we're going to build a new me, we need some solid foundation. So I've got 4 foundational pillars that will then sort of give you the tools to start building a new you. Because remember, was it Einstein who said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different outcome. All right? You need to put a new ways of thinking, new ways of being, new ways of thinking. It's not going back to the past. This is going back to the past, and it's killing you. It is killing you. It's killing your ability to experience love, joy, and happiness. You need to have new information, new ways of thinking, new ways of doing something. All right. And that's what I do. So if you've valued what I sort of have do here, this is only a small taster of what I have got prepared for you. All right. So this is it. DM me. To ask for any more information, give me your email so that I can actually sort of send you this, so you've actually got it at home, and if you want any more information, and obviously, reach out to me if you need to. But hey, guys, I would love to work with you. You only have one life. Only one life. Unfortunately, the issue is, especially if you're in a partnership, we sort of go, well, it's easier to get a divorce. Yeah, it may be easier. But unless you change your way of thinking and you find a new partner, then you're bringing all the stuff, all the baggage that you've had into the new relationship. And that's when oftentimes the second marriages don't work, or relationships don't work as much. And why we keep picking the wrong people is because we haven't changed the way that we think and the way that we are. Awareness is everything. Awareness is key. If you are aware, change can happen. But if you're not aware, you didn't know this stuff, right? You didn't know this stuff. Now you do. Now you're more aware. Okay? So there you go. This is it. DM me, and yeah, see if I can help you to be able to improve your relationship and make it friggin' amazing. And that's up to you, guys. Well, I'm done. If you like to, if you could comment, and guys, if you could share this stream to everyone in your sort of network. People need to know this. There is so many people out there hurting. They are in pain. They're in suffering, and they don't need to be. They just need some help. All right. And I've got it here. So guys, thank you for spending the last hour with me. I hope you got so much, information, and your life will be better and improved just by spending this hour with me. So be good. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have fun, and I'll see you next time somewhere live. Read my posts, like, share, and let's make this world a better place for us all. Thanks, guys. Bye.